Hi, welcome back. We're here with Tyler Stewart. He's president of Bike Bridge Cycling Association in Lethbridge. I really enjoy a subtext on your website. It says, "For those who bike and those who might." So I gather that Bike Bridge, one of the mandates of Bike Bridge is to entice people to start cycling.
For sure. We're really focused on making cycling a more attractive thing to do in Lethbridge, and that's by trying to encourage safer infrastructure for cyclists, but also just get people to, remember the thrill of having a bike ride and that fun social spirit of riding bikes with others as well.
How are you working to promote safer infrastructure?
We are a key stakeholder for the City of Lethbridge in the development of the Cycling Master Plan. So that's been an ongoing conversation over the past few years, and we're really glad in July to see City Council adopt the Cycling Master Plan. So we do focus on lobbying those types of groups in an advocacy sense to promote those things that are physical infrastructure devices to help make cycling safer. But we also try to do our part in regards to education and awareness too. So developing other resources that people can use to understand their responsibilities as a cyclist on the road, but also the responsibilities of motorists to allow them space to take a lane if they wish, or that they in fact cyclists are in fact allowed to use the road as well.
Because some people might be cyclists and motorists and may be unaware of what all the regulations and responsibilities are.
Yeah, in fact, that's I don't know if I know a single cyclist who doesn't have a driver's license. So, you often hear that complaint of, "Oh, you cyclists, why are we paying for your bike lanes? You don't pay taxes." Well, most cyclists, if not all cyclists, drive cars and pay taxes in other ways too. So we want to make it less of a combative relationship between motorists and cyclists, and have it be a more collaborative relationship where they learn and understand from each other, the concerns of a motorist and the concerns of a cyclist when they both go about getting from point A to point B around Lethbridge.
Okay, you mentioned the Cycling Master Plan. Can you explain that a little bit?
Essentially, the Cycling Master Plan is it's developed by the Transportation Department within the City of Lethbridge, and it guides the development of infrastructure relating to cycling around Lethbridge for the next 30 years. So this includes things that already exist, like multi-use pathways, but also outlines an entire network of different types of bike lanes. So some of those are like what we'll see completed by this fall, like the 7th Avenue Bike Boulevard, which is like a shared motorist cyclist lane, essentially just a road that is designated specially for cyclists to kind of have some priority there, but also other separated infrastructure like the protected bike lanes that you see in other cities like Calgary or Edmonton, and a whole different slew of those kinds of traffic techniques to, again, encourage cyclists to get out and ride, because there's not as many intimidating factors perhaps because of traffic features or motorists or speeds or whatever it might be.
Where you can really enjoy the cycling experience and not be so concerned about what's around you.
Exactly. We know from other cities and from years and years of study and research that if cyclists feel more comfortable riding on the road, they will ride more often on the road, which means they'll more likely transition into a lifestyle where they bike to work every day instead of driving their car every day. And there's so many benefits of that, not just to the cyclists, but to the community in general and to our environment, because there's less cars putting out carbon exhaust into the environment, all those kinds of other factors as well.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the events that Bike Bridge has hosted?
Yeah, so that brings us to the kind of other half of Bike Bridge as a group. We're really trying to focus on creating more of a cycling community here in Lethbridge. So we've in the past done group rides. So in the past couple of years now, we've done what's called Jane's Ride as a part of the Jane's Walk Festival celebrating the life of urban planner Jane Jacobs. So it's kind of like a historical bike ride around Lethbridge where people learn about natural features of the ecology or historic buildings or specific areas of different neighborhoods, that kind of thing. We've also done a few film screenings in the past little while. So we did the Alberta premiere of a documentary called Bicycles, which is all about winter cycling. And last summer, during part of the Tour of Alberta festivities, we also hosted a outdoor bike-in film night. So it was amazing to have this short little film festival with multiple films all about cycling, but outside in a park where about 150 people rode their bikes to the park, and it was just this really great kind of demonstration of the support that there is for the cycling community in Lethbridge.
Oh, that's cool. It's like a drive-in, but you can't sneak anybody in the trunk.
Yeah, and it was all free. Free popcorn, free films, ride your bike there. How could you say no to that?
That's great. You must have some community partners that are helping you with your endeavors?
Certainly. That's something we've been focused on really strongly in the past few months, specifically to develop relationships with other cycling clubs, but also develop relationships with other organizations or strengthen relationships, existing relationships with folks like the City of Lethbridge, but also folks like Lethbridge Sport Council, the other bike clubs like Headwinds and Lethbridge Area Cycling Association, also with the bike shops. So just trying to reach out and collaborate more often to, again, build that sense of community. So it's not the mountain bikers over here and the social cyclists over here and the spandex wearing road cyclist over here, but to kind of realize that some people do all of that, or some people maybe only do one of those kind of groups, but that as cyclists we all have a shared interests in different ways.
And so how can people get involved?
Yeah, people can get involved by just participating in some of our events. So you can always find all the information about what we're doing at our website, which is just bikebridge.ca. We also have an awesome Facebook group, which is more or less just an ongoing, almost like an old school style internet chat room of people sharing bike-related news and information, events, and that kind of stuff. And we also are on Twitter, just at Bikebridge. So those are great ways people can find out about what we're doing. And we're always looking for people not to just participate in events, but help volunteer as well to help plan things. And again, focus on that growing the cycling community in Lethbridge. So people who have ideas for partnerships, we're always looking to speak to them and think about new ways we can all celebrate cycling together.
And as you mentioned, year-round.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Lethbridge is an amazing city for cycling because the weather's not that bad, and even when it does get bad, a Chinook will inevitably sweep in 5 days later and get rid of all that snow. So cycling year-round is a very feasible pursuit here in Lethbridge.
Thank you so much for bringing awareness to all of this for us, and thank you for listening. Bike Bridge for people who cycle and people who might.